Additionally, you should get ready for the day when we will let go of it, because when the bull run reaches the ecstasy stage, people's lives will change for the better in an unchangeable way. The bear market is a challenging market. When going through it, a great deal of patience is required. However, if you compare what is happening right now to what has occurred in the past, for instance, we are currently discussing the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC and Ripple. And Gary Gensler recently gave a discussion at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, regarding blockchain technology. This is what I have been thinking about after watching this movie. Keep this in mind at all times. Throughout my 18 years of employment at Goldman Sachs, I was under the impression that the banking industry was comparable to the neck of an hourglass. Why does it receive such a large amount of money from society in the form of economic rents? Every single second, there are billions and trillions of grains of sand that are passing through the neck of an hourglass. When you are able to gather some of those sand grains, you will find that you have a lot of wealth. On his Twitter account, Andrew Develbus posted the following: Interledger protocol uses XRP. Those who created the Interledger protocol envisioned it as a TCP/IP for the financial sector. TCP/IP as the primary protocol that is used to transfer data across the internet in the modern era. The internet was able to function with other networks as a result. For monetary transactions, this is what the Interledger protocol does. Ripple and ILP are like fresh eyes for the financial clock. To borrow figure of speech, they are revolutionary. The money is there because of this reason. It is not because all of the money in the world will be on it at the same time. Rather, it is only that all of the money will pass through it at some point in time, or at the very least, a significant portion of the cash in the globe. Ripple in it is a worldwide network that facilitates the transfer of money. On the middle ground is XRP. Have that in mind. As Gary mentioned in this video, those that possess XRP will be extremely wealthy in the future. In the long term, a project such as XRP is pretty much the same as the stock of Amazon.com in the 1990s and early 2000s. There are stories about games, artificial intelligence, and meme coins that will earn people a lot of money, but in the long run, XRP is pretty much the same. This video appears to have been taken from a seminar at MIT Blockchain and Money, and was produced in the fall of 2018, according to Gary Gensler, who was the professor at the time and also served as the head of the SEC. In addition, pay attention to the thoughts that he had at that time. Already, we are aware that initial coin offerings, ICOs, and what we would refer to as stocks do not constitute 3/4 of the market in the United States and in many other countries. It is true even in the United States of America, Canada, and Taiwan, all of which use a test that is comparable to the one that we have discussed. This means that 3/4 of the market is devoid of any stocks. To put it simply, it is a cryptocurrency that is a good. Arguments will arise around initial coin offerings and the definition of what constitutes and does not constitute a security. The arguments presented here are significant and pertinent. However, in terms of a legal or regulatory issue, it is not really a concern for 3/4 of the market. The fact that he has shifted his perspective is something that I find to be extremely interesting. It's possible that this is incorrect. Feel free to share your thoughts with me in the space provided below. Perhaps, however, he is being compensated by someone to modify his viewpoint. How did he come to such a significant change of heart? In addition, if he had changed his mind, why did he criticize Ripple after the SEC had just stated that they had completed their task? To reiterate what I've already stated, XRP is kept on a public record that is accessible to everybody. How can I be certain that it is accessible and does not require authorization? Ripple's chief technology officer has informed me that this is the case. I am informed about it by him. I do, however, possess definitive evidence. The Securities and Exchange Commission announced around a month or two ago that they would establish a node on the XRP platform as well as other open ledgers that do not require permission to operate. In order to verify that Ripple was capable of doing that, the SEC did not call them. In other words, it is what they intend to do. This instance appears to be somewhat peculiar, and let's not forget that Ripple has more than 1,700 non-disclosure agreements. It is quite a lot. It is not going to be 7 to 11 non-disclosure agreements. 1,700 individuals have pledged to keep their XRP distribution a secret. This is a far larger and more involved matter than you might think it is due to the fact that these non-disclosure agreements include transactions with central banks. When all of the components are brought together, the new financial system will be constructed through the agreements that have been reached between hedge funds, huge investors, payment providers, and private financial organizations. According to the provisions of a non-disclosure agreement, you are not permitted to disclose the topic that was discussed in a transaction. The current price of XRP is approximately 55 cents at this moment. For what length of time has it been fluctuating between 45 and 60 cents over and over again? Therefore, it is possible that they are dropping the price for no evident reason to provide these businesses with the opportunity to obtain a better deal on XRP through over-the-counter OTC sales so that they can stock up on it while it is still inexpensive before they flip the switch. That's where I believe it's going to end up. However, there is one compelling point to keep in mind, and that is the fact that we should not merely speculate about what might occur, but rather examine the charts. Taking into consideration the past and how it will have an effect on the present is an essential step. Going back to the last bull run, just like I did in the previous photo, that was a fantastic move on my part. The total market value of all cryptocurrencies reached an all-time high in January 2018, with the exception of Bitcoin for the first time ever, being in the neighborhood of $400 billion or $70 billion it was. Additionally, the value of XRP was rising to its maximum point, which was greater than $3. Therefore, when the total value of the cryptocurrency market reached its highest point, XRP and it were very tightly connected. At the very least, I believe it took place on the same day. Following the formation of the bottom, the bear market started, and it was difficult to succeed in breaking over this barrier of approximately 75 cents. Throughout the course of the bull run, we made multiple attempts to break it before we finally succeeded in doing so in April of 2021. Although the overall market value of all cryptocurrencies was increasing, it was interesting to observe that the market was still in the disbelief stage. This was something that could be observed. Where did XRP go when people were skeptical about its existence? XRP, on the other hand, experienced its own tiny shock increase during which it went from, for example, 23 cents to 35 cents and then stopped going up for a bit. How did XRP fare during a time when the market was rife with optimism and people believed alternative cryptocurrencies may stage a comeback? We had emerged victorious from this muddle and were well on our way to reaching new heights of success. As it turned out, XRP that was on the verge of breaking out, but the case halted it in its tracks throughout the entire bull run. XRP remained in this region despite the fact that altcoins were seeing a meteoric rise. 34 cents, then up to 77 cents, then back down to 20 cents, then back up to 74 cents, and continuing to hover around this level until the alternative cryptocurrency market surpassed $700 billion, $800 billion, $900 billion, and eventually $1 trillion, and eventually $1 trillion. And in spite of the fact that it was the first time that XRP had broken out above $2, it was still not able to reach the historical high. In comparison to the previous cycle, the overall market for alternative cryptocurrencies had a higher level of liquidity. In this cycle, XRP performed well, although not as well as it did in the cycle before it. Right now, where are we? For the entirety of the bear market that occurred in 2021, XRP has been in this triangle shape. As a result, the fact that the barrier for XRP is decreasing demonstrates that it is comparable to the previous negative market. For the time being, we are going to focus on these significant aspects. The bottom of the pie plate presents the first point to consider. There was a flare of this light in December of 2018. When it came to XRP, it was time to hit the bottom level. There was a price of $0.27 as the lowest. This was the point at which XRP reached its lowest point, which was at 0.14, 0.13, $0.13, $0.10 as it had been during COVID. In spite of this, it was only off by roughly 1 week when it reached its lowest point, which was when XRP was trading at approximately 29 cents. It was at that point that the tendency began to increase. In spite of the fact that XRP was falling, we could see that support was increasing right here. In a number of significant aspects, this is substantially different. In March of 2020, however, as things took a turn for the worse, we started making preparations to leave this place. We are able to observe this growing support. The peak of the falling resistance is also visible to us. This is the point at which XRP broke free of the R resistance and rose to approximately 31 cents during the disbelief rally. After that, it moved back down to the rising support and then broke out once more, this time increasing to approximately 80 cents just before the lawsuit was filed. After that, it went back down to conduct a test, and it even traded below it for a period of time. Right now, XRP has made multiple attempts to break free of its descending support during the bull run. These attempts PTs have been unsuccessful. There was a time in July of 2023 when it was widely believed that XRP was not a bond on the secondary market. The price of XRP increased by more than 100%, going from 45 cents to approximately $1. When it attempted to break out once more in November, it traded back down within the symmetrical triangle rather than breaking out.